President Trump on a roll last night as he took the stage at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. The event, rescheduled months after another assassination attempt on him, struck a lighthearted tone, but Trump was able to get in a few jabs, even at our own Peter Doocy.
I'm proud to be the most open and transparent president in history. They called me that. You know who calls me that? Caroline. That's about it. So would anybody else call me that? I think Peter would call me that. Am I the most transparent? Biden never used to answer your questions. He'd ask Biden 20 questions. He'd never get an answer. Who's the most transparent president, Peter? Who? I look at him. It's the first time he's tongue-tied. I cannot believe it. Oh, he's not going to be happy tomorrow.
Here to tell us how the rest of the night went is host of the Sunday Briefing, Peter Doocy himself. So great to see you, Peter. That was such vintage, classic Trump, but we couldn't hear what you were saying. You didn't have a microphone.
And that's the problem. When you don't have a microphone, you have to be careful just shouting out in an auditorium because you will sound like a protester, and somebody will probably come and grab you by the necktie, by the clip-on bow tie, and take you out of there. What I was asking him there was if I should stand up, because there were like 5 different times that he called out to me, and the previous time he had told me to stand up, which I didn't. I didn't know what to do. But the answer, and I told TMZ this on the way out when they asked me what I was saying, or what I would have said to his question, is he the most transparent president ever, that I am very happy that he didn't call me a stupid SOB like the last guy.
That's good.
But, you know, he does have a point. Like 3 hours before that dinner, we were in the Oval Office with him. We asked him about Iran. We asked him about the lettuce that's given everybody a bellyache, and we asked him about LeBron James signing with the Sixers. And that is something that we have not seen from a president ever. And Peter, at a celebration of the First Amendment, we appreciate it. Yeah.
You know, Peter, you ask a lot of really great questions, but I think definitely one of your top 5 questions was asking him about the dirty lettuce. He looked really stumped on that. He looked like maybe he's just not a big lettuce eater.
It's funny. He told me that if I had the lettuce, I needed to leave the Oval Office, which, just for everybody watching, I have not had the lettuce, and I was fine to continue in there.
It was very, very, very good, and you always have I always love how you have a question that is different than the rest of the pack, which is crucial because so often the White House press corps, they're always asking the same question. You always bring a different one, which I love. All right, I want to ask you about this. So President Trump, this whole idea has been floated that the White House supports the idea of Saudi Arabia getting a nuclear power abilities. But President Trump now says that is contingent on them joining the Abraham Accords. Let me just play this clip for you that you've already seen, but our viewers may not have.
They have to be a member of the Abraham Accords, which have been very successful. But it's time now that they do it. They and others didn't want to do it because of the problem that they had with Iran. You don't have that problem anymore. You don't have a great power there anymore. You have a problem, but the problem is disappearing day by day. They were the bully of the Middle East. We want them to, it's a two-way street, and we think it's very important for the future of the Middle East. The Abraham Accords have been incredibly successful for the countries, as you know, for the countries in them. And I think it's very important. So, you know, at some point they'll join.
Where do you think this is going?
It seems like this one might be going nowhere because when MBS came to the Oval Office a couple months ago, he said, yeah, we in Saudi Arabia would love to join the Abraham Accords, which means that they have to have formal ties, diplomatic ties with Israel. But first, there has to be a Palestinian state. And at least for as long as Donald Trump is the president, it doesn't seem like that is going to happen, no matter how mad he is at Bibi Netanyahu for XYZ thing during the Iran war. It doesn't seem like that is going to happen. So I think this is a way for the president to tell the world, we're fine with Saudi Arabia having a civil nuclear program, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to help make it happen.
Right. So tell us what's coming up on the Sunday Briefing tomorrow.
all the latest on Iran as President Trump basically tries to figure out if there is a bomb big enough to get these guys to peace talks. We're going to have John Barrasso, Billy Bush, and Mike Rowe. It's going to be a great show. It's going to be a lot of fun. 11 o'clock tomorrow.
We'll be tuning in. Always great to see you, Peter. Thanks.
Thanks, Charlie.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.